I was a father to 18 and a husband to more than just Janelle.
Kody threatens to cut kids off unless Janelle covers Robyn's tax bill. That's the jaw-dropping claim surfacing from insiders close to the Brown family. And if even half of it is true, it's one of the most manipulative moves Kody's ever pulled.
So we had a lot of places that money needed to go that weren't always Janelle's business.
According to multiple sources, Kody has allegedly told Janelle point blank that unless she steps in and pays off a mounting tax bill tied to Robyn's name, he'll start withdrawing financial support from their children.
But Janelle was doing the bookkeeping, so some of the bills to be paid by all of us were supposed to be paid by her.
And not just the basics either. We're talking phone plans, school fees, groceries, even gas money for the older kids still finishing college or getting started in the real world. Allegedly, the threat was made in private, in that same condescending tone fans know all too well. And Janelle? She didn't scream, she didn't beg, she went stone cold. One insider described her expression as pure disgust. Because let's be real, after everything she sacrificed, raising 6 kids largely on her own, saving every dollar while Kody blew through cash with Robyn like it grew on their Flagstaff trees, to be asked to pay Robyn's tax debt, it was a new kind of low. Now here's where it gets even messier. The rumor swirling is that this tax bill isn't just some leftover utility payment or clerical error. Allegedly, it's connected to Robyn and Kody's million-dollar home, the same one with the custom archways and walk-in doll gallery.
He didn't kiss me until he asked me to marry him, and it wasn't a kiss, it was a stamp. You know, his face smashed mine, that was it.
And the whispers say it's overdue by tens of thousands, a figure so big Janelle reportedly laughed out loud when she heard it. But that laughter didn't last long, because what came next was Kody allegedly dangling the well-being of their kids like poker chips. If you don't help us with this, he supposedly said, then I don't know how we're going to keep paying for your children's extras. Not our children, not the children, your children. As if they stopped being his the minute Janelle stopped being his obedient wife. The emotional manipulation here is next level, and fans are already starting to connect the dots between Kody's dwindling authority and these increasingly desperate power plays. But the real kicker, according to one source, Janelle might not even be the only wife he's tried this tactic on, and if that's true, this isn't just a bad faith threat, it might be a full-blown pattern. If you're wondering how Robyn's taxes suddenly became Janelle's problem, you're not alone. Fans who followed every financial twist in the Brown family saga know Janelle has always been the numbers girl, the spreadsheet warrior who lived in modest rentals while Kody and Robyn toured luxury listings. So when whispers of a growing tax debt tied to Robyn's property started making the rounds, the question became, how did it get this bad? And why is Janelle the one expected to clean it up?
Remember, I would ask him about the property, and he would always get mad when I'd ask him about it. He would always be angry, like that I was asking, he was like, well, what do you think? Who do you think is going to take care of you? And I'm like, I don't think you're taking care of me. And that used to make him so mad.
Sources allege that Robyn's sprawling mansion, valued at over $1 million, has racked up unpaid property taxes and penalty fees for at least 2 years. Allegedly, the notices began small, but as deadlines passed, the fines ballooned. One insider described it as a snowball turned avalanche, with Robyn reportedly brushing it off, confident TLC money or family savings would eventually cover it. But with filming now sporadic and the family no longer operating as a single financial unit, that safety net gone. The most disturbing part? Insiders whisper that Robyn may have never informed Janelle about the accumulating tax debt until it hit crisis level. One source close to the situation claims Robyn only brought it up once the bill became too big for her to handle alone, at which point she allegedly turned to Kody for help. And instead of telling Robyn to get her house in order, Kody reportedly redirected the issue straight to Janelle with all the subtlety of a bulldozer. The logic, if you can call it that, was apparently that since Janelle's name had once been loosely attached to shared LLCs and the family's financial trust, she somehow owed it to the greater good to help keep Robyn's home out of default. Let that sink in. Robyn lives in a $1 million house bought during a time when the other wives were living in rentals or mobile homes.
He just always somehow thinks he's somehow entitled to more, which is just, it's astounding. I think he really is just kind of inherently selfish.
And now, after all the sacrifices Janelle made to build the Coyote Pass dream that never came to be, she's supposed to bail out the one wife who never lifted a finger for anyone but herself? Janelle's response, according to insiders, was swift and fierce. Absolutely not. That's the phrase one source claims she used. No negotiations, no guilt, no compromising her kid's future to protect Robyn's status quo. And yet, the push didn't stop there. Kody allegedly kept pressing, saying this wasn't just about taxes, it was about family unity. He reportedly asked Janelle, "Do you want to be the reason your kids lose their support?" And that's when Janelle, calm as ever, is said to have replied, "You already made that choice." But what Robyn did next? That's where this story takes a truly shocking turn, because according to sources close to the family, Robyn didn't just sit back and let Kody handle it. Oh no, she allegedly took matters into her own hands, and not with an apology or a plan to downsize, but with something that had Janelle seeing red. Insiders claim that after Janelle flat out refused to pitch in for the tax bill, Robyn privately reached out to one of Janelle's adult children, and not for a heart-to-heart. No, rumor has it she tried to persuade them to talk some sense into their mom, framing the situation as a shared family emergency. Think about that. Not only did she sidestep Janelle completely, but she allegedly tried to emotionally leverage one of the very kids Kody was threatening to financially abandon. The move reportedly left Janelle furious beyond words, with one family source saying she felt like Robyn was pulling strings behind her back, manipulating her own child to make her feel guilty. And the kicker? Robyn reportedly left out key details. She allegedly painted the bill as a temporary hiccup, not the multi-year backlog that it really was. And when that child circled back to Janelle, the whole story unraveled. What followed, according to insiders, was one of the most tense off-camera confrontations the Brown family has had since Christine walked away. Janelle reportedly told Robyn in no uncertain terms to never use her children as messengers again. And while Robyn allegedly cried, her signature emotional shield, Janelle didn't budge. "She's done coddling," said the source.
I never really had much of a relationship with Robyn. I don't have any hate or hard feelings or anything. I just don't really want to know them.
Yeah.
She sees now that Robyn expects the perks of a big family without ever taking the risks. But the most telling part, Robyn never offered to sell a single asset. Not the collectible doll room, not the luxury SUV, not even her custom jewelry, which fans have estimated to be worth tens of thousands. Instead, insiders say she doubled down on the idea that the family needed to step in. Which family? Exactly. The one she's isolated herself from for over a decade? The one whose kids she barely acknowledges on birthdays anymore? The contradiction was staggering, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Because around this same time, someone allegedly leaked screenshots of the overdue property tax notices online. The images spread fast, showing dates, parcel numbers, and one number in particular that left fans gasping: $36,000. That's the figure fans claim they saw tied to Robyn's address. No official confirmation yet, but if it's real, it's one of the largest single tax debts ever connected to the Sister Wives universe. And that's when people started asking, what exactly has Robyn been doing with all that TLC money? That question, what exactly has Robyn been doing with all that TLC money, has lit up every corner of Sister Wives fan forums, Reddit threads, and YouTube comments this past week. Because for years, Robyn's been painted as the financially pampered wife, the one with the big house, the newer car, the full-time nanny, and now, allegedly, a looming tax debt she wants someone else to cover. And while fans have always speculated about unequal spending, this moment felt different. It wasn't just inequality, it was the suggestion that Kody would punish his children if Janelle didn't step in and rescue Robyn from the mess she created. And that crossed a line, a big one. According to people familiar with the situation, the alleged threat wasn't just about pulling back support from the kids, it was detailed, specific. Sources say Kody told Janelle that if she didn't cover the debt, he would stop paying for things like Hunter's car insurance, Savannah's phone plan, and Gabe's emergency fund for college expenses. We're not talking luxuries here. These are everyday essentials, things a father would normally pay without a second thought. But instead, he allegedly turned them into bargaining chips, and the implication was crystal clear. Robyn's comfort came first. His kids, they were just leverage. One source described it like this: "It was the cruelest version of Kody we've seen, cold, transactional, and absolutely unapologetic. And what's worse, Robyn allegedly said nothing. No protests, no objections, just silence, until the backlash started brewing online. And when it did, insiders say Robyn tried to do some private damage control. She allegedly reached out to Meri, hoping to get her on board with the idea that the entire family benefits when the legal issues are resolved. Meri's response? Not confirmed, but let's just say the silence from her corner has been deafening. Meanwhile, Janelle's kids are reportedly rallying around their mom. One even hinted in a now-deleted social media comment that they know what's really going on and won't be silenced forever. That post alone triggered an avalanche of speculation that a family tell-all might be brewing, one where the older kids finally speak up and name names. If that happens, it wouldn't just be embarrassing. It could blow the lid off every financial secret Kody and Robyn have tried to keep buried. And speaking of secrets, one fan uncovered something very interesting tucked inside Arizona's public property records, a detail that may connect Robyn's tax debt to a string of questionable PayPal transfers dating back 4 years. It started with a single receipt. Just one screenshot. allegedly from a PayPal business account linked to the Browns' old shared family LLC, an entity Janelle and Christine both exited years ago, but that Robyn and Kody reportedly never dissolved. According to fans who've been sleuthing through Arizona's online databases, this account was still active as recently as last fall, and the transfers, they raised more than a few eyebrows. One payment, dated December 2020, was allegedly labeled reimbursement decor upgrades. Another, from July 2021, reportedly read monthly nanny budget. But the one that sent Reddit into a frenzy, a transaction for $8,000 marked simply tax assist. No further explanation, no breakdown, just that label and a trail pointing straight back to a joint account that insiders claim only Robyn and Kody had access to post-split. Fans immediately began piecing things together. The theory that this PayPal account never shut down, never disclosed publicly, was being quietly used to funnel family funds into Robyn's private expenses long after the other wives thought they were out. If true, it means Janelle and Christine may have unknowingly contributed to expenses that never benefited their kids, but absolutely padded Robyn's financial cushion. And while there's no official confirmation of the screenshot's authenticity, one former crew member allegedly told a blogger that certain cast members knew money was still moving, they just didn't know where it was going. The implication being, Robyn's tax bill didn't appear out of nowhere. It's been looming for years, and someone has likely known about it this entire time. Now here's where it gets even more tangled. Legal analysts on fan forums are pointing out that if those PayPal transactions came from a jointly funded account and Janelle's name was ever attached, she could technically be held liable, even if she had no idea the money was still moving. That may explain why, according to insiders, Kody didn't just ask her for help. He tried to corner her with the implication that if the bill doesn't get paid, she might be on the hook anyway. That's not just emotional pressure. That's legal intimidation dressed up as family duty. And yet Janelle hasn't backed down. In fact, sources claim she's spoken to a lawyer of her own. Allegedly, her goal is to uncover exactly how much money moved through that PayPal account since she left, and whether Robyn and Kody can be forced to pay it back. But just as that investigation gains traction, another source stepped forward with an even more explosive allegation. According to someone claiming to have worked with a former financial assistant tied to the show, Robyn allegedly knew the tax bill was spiraling out of control months ago and deliberately kept it quiet until it could no longer be ignored. The reason? Sources whisper it was all part of a larger plan to pressure Janelle into rejoining financial ties with the family, or at the very least absorb some of the liability. One insider described it as calculated panic, delaying disclosure until the situation became so urgent, Robyn could frame it as a shared emergency. In other words, not a last-minute scramble, but a choreographed crisis. The strategy? Position Robyn as the damsel in distress and guilt Janelle into becoming her safety net one last time. But here's where things get sticky from a legal standpoint. Family attorneys not affiliated with the Browns have started weighing in on fan podcasts and live streams, saying that if any of these allegations prove true, if funds were misrepresented, misused, or withheld from parties legally entitled to them, there could be grounds for civil fraud claims. Especially if Janelle's name appears on any LLC documents still active during the alleged transfers. One lawyer even noted that the optics of coercing a former partner through shared children are not great. That's putting it mildly, because fans aren't just talking about manipulation anymore, they're questioning whether what Kody allegedly threatened crosses into legal retaliation. Using child support and access to essential services as leverage in an unrelated financial dispute? That could land Kody in court for all the wrong reasons, and the timing couldn't be more delicate. With filming for the next season rumored to resume soon, and public trust in the family narrative at an all-time low, producers are reportedly scrambling to decide how much of this they can even show. One source familiar with behind-the-scenes discussions says there's concern that including Kody's alleged threats or Robyn's tax drama might damage the long-term brand, which in plain terms means they're worried fans will finally stop watching, but it may already be too late. The story is out, the screenshots are everywhere, and Janelle, far from shrinking into the background, is allegedly preparing her own receipts, potentially for release on her social channels or even as part of a future memoir. Because if Robyn and Kody thought Janelle would stay quiet, they've forgotten who they're dealing with. This is the woman who once lived in a fifth-wheel camper in the Arizona heat while Robyn shopped for chandeliers. She's not just angry, she's done. And apparently, she's not the only one. Because Christine, well, her reaction to all of this was pure fire and allegedly caught even Robyn off guard. Christine's reaction didn't come in the form of a public post or a podcast rant. No, according to insiders, it happened quietly, via a series of private messages that have since made their way through the Brown family grapevine. Allegedly, when Christine got wind of Kody's threat to cut off the kids unless Janelle paid Robyn's tax debt, she was livid. And not just protective livid. Mama bear, gloves off, line in the sand livid. One source close to the situation claims Christine immediately reached out to Janelle with 3 words: "Don't you dare." As in, don't you dare give them a cent. Don't fall for the guilt, the manipulation, the manufactured crisis. Christine reportedly told her, "They've made their choices. Now let them live with the consequences." And if that sounds cold, it's not. It's clarity. Christine has walked this exact path, surviving the gaslighting, the favoritism, the financial games, and come out stronger. But the real fire came when Christine allegedly warned Robyn, through a mutual contact, that if she kept dragging the kids into it, she'd start speaking out loudly. According to the same source, Christine said something along the lines of, "Don't make me tell the world what I know about that money." Now, whether that's a direct threat or just a boundary, it sent shockwaves. Especially because Christine has largely kept her hands clean since exiting the family. She's been gracious, private, and focused on her new life. But everyone has a breaking point. And this pushed her close. What's even more interesting is how the other ex-wife, Meri, has reportedly responded. Though publicly silent, insiders say she's been more active than ever in family group chats, quietly backing Janelle and sharing her own recollections of how money once moved through the family pot. There's even a rumor that Meri has screenshots from early 2020 showing how funds were redirected from a shared emergency savings account into what she believed was personal housing upgrades. Translation: she may have receipts of her own, and if she and Christine are both starting to collect evidence, Kody and Robyn might want to brace themselves. Behind the scenes, sources claim the vibe among the ex-wives is shifting. Not just sympathy, not just moral support, but something deeper, like the beginnings of a legal alignment. And while nothing has been filed, nothing made official, one whisper keeps circulating among fan accounts and legal blogs alike: joint representation. If Janelle, Christine, and Meri were to sit down with a lawyer together, they could unravel years of financial entanglements in ways Kody never saw coming, and they might not even have to say a word. Because allegedly, the Brown kids are ready to speak up on their behalf, and one of them is about to go public. The first hints came through a cryptic Instagram story, just a black background and 6 words. "You think we don't remember?" Posted, then deleted within minutes. But screenshots spread like wildfire, and fans quickly identified the account as belonging to one of Janelle's older sons. No name confirmed, but the implication was loud and clear. The kids are watching everything unfold, and they're not staying quiet much longer. According to family insiders, at least 2 of Janelle's adult children are now seriously considering speaking out publicly and in detail about what they allegedly witnessed growing up under Kody and Robyn's rule. The emotional favoritism, the financial imbalances, the money that was promised but never showed up. And most damning of all, the pressure to stay silent to preserve the family's brand. One source close to the family says that during the height of filming, Kody allegedly made it known that speaking negatively about Robyn, or even questioning how money was allocated, was disrespectful and disloyal. And when some of the older kids began pushing back, their allowances were allegedly reduced or paused altogether. At the time, the justification was cutbacks, but looking back now, those same kids are starting to realize it may have been retaliation. If true, that could be a massive problem for Kody, not just reputationally, but legally, especially if any of those funds were tied to contractual family trusts or educational stipends that were supposed to be distributed fairly. But the most jaw-dropping rumor? One of the kids is reportedly in talks with a major podcast to do a long-form interview, sharing their unfiltered perspective on growing up in the Brown household and what they've seen financially since the family fractured. Allegedly, the interview would cover everything from unpaid promises to how their relationship with Kody has changed since he became, in their words, Robyn's husband only. And while there's no confirmed date or release plan yet, one entertainment blogger claims the production team has already reached out to Janelle for her blessing. So far, no word on her response. But if she's given the green light, it would mark the first time a child has publicly peeled back the financial curtain on the sister wives' machine. Meanwhile, Robyn has gone silent. No posts, no comments, no photos, just digital silence. Some fans think she's hiding. Others believe she's lawyering up. And one Reddit user swears they spotted her meeting with a well-known Arizona tax attorney last week, though that claim remains unverified. Still, the optics are bad, very bad. And while Robyn retreats, a new leak is reportedly on the way. One that allegedly shows exactly how much was funneled from the family's shared LLC into her home and what it was really spent on. The numbers, if accurate, are staggering. According to a source who claims to have seen internal ledger excerpts tied to the Browns' old LLC leaked by someone with alleged access to archived financial files, the amount directed toward Robyn's household over the last 4 years totals more than $523,000. That includes large lump sum transfers marked as home upgrades, monthly payments flagged for nanny services, and multiple lines that simply read maintenance. The same source insists at least 3 of those transactions align precisely with the dates Robyn posted social media photos, showing off a new backyard pergola, custom light fixtures, and expensive artisan furniture. And yet, when Janelle or Christine needed extra funds for their own children's tuition or medical expenses, crickets. One particular entry has fans fired up the most, a payment of $17,000, labeled as interior aesthetic doll room completion. Yes, the infamous doll room, Robyn's cherished private collection space that's been a long-standing source of mockery and bafflement among viewers. The idea that family money, possibly money contributed by Janelle and Christine years ago, was used to decorate a personal room full of porcelain dolls while their own kids scraped by? It's the kind of detail that sends fans into a frenzy. And rightly so. Even more infuriating is what that money wasn't used for. There's no record, the source claims, of similar transfers being made to support any of the other wives' households, not for braces, rent assistance, or emergency funds during the pandemic. Instead, the flow of money appears heavily lopsided, with Robyn receiving the lion's share of liquid assets, often under vague expense categories that would be nearly impossible to dispute without access to the full bookkeeping files. And guess who reportedly controlled those files? Not an accountant, not a neutral third party, but Kody himself. Insiders allege that for years, Kody served as the informal treasurer of the family trust, handling disbursements, approving reimbursements, and making final calls about who got what and when. That system worked, if you happened to be Robyn. But for everyone else, it was a maze of excuses and delays. Allegedly, Christine was once told a reimbursement for her daughter's out-of-pocket surgery would need to wait until the household ledger stabilized. Yet within that same month, Robyn received 2 separate payments, one for an outdoor sauna and one flagged vehicle upgrade. And now that these numbers are coming to light, thanks to one anonymous but reportedly well-placed source, Janelle's children are, according to insiders, demanding answers loudly. One daughter is rumored to be gathering screenshots, texts, and receipts for a joint public statement with her brothers. And while Robyn remains silent, Kody is reportedly preparing for damage control, but it may already be too late, because word on the ground is that Kody's usual tactics, gaslighting, guilt-tripping, and grandstanding, aren't working anymore. Not on Janelle, not on the kids, and certainly not on the fans, who have watched this latest financial drama unfold with the disbelief of people who thought they'd already seen the worst. But sources now claim Kody is gearing up to rewrite the narrative, allegedly pushing TLC producers to frame the tax issue as a misunderstanding, and Janelle's refusal to help as an act of emotional distance. The same old spin, dressed up as family healing. But insiders whisper that producers are starting to push back. Privately, they know the fans aren't buying it anymore. And the more Kody tries to control the story, the more the cracks show. What has people truly rattled, though, is that Kody isn't just worried about optics. He's allegedly worried about exposure. Real exposure. Legal exposure. Multiple sources claim he's been meeting behind closed doors with lawyers, not just to get ahead of any potential civil action from the ex-wives, but to protect what little financial infrastructure he and Robyn have left. Some insiders even speculate that he's looking into moving certain assets into Robyn's name exclusively, a strategy often used to shield property in the event of a financial audit or public lawsuit. If that's true, and there's no confirmed proof yet, it could signal that Kody is preparing for the long game. Not a reunion, not a redemption arc, but a retreat. And Robyn? According to one source, she's been visibly shaken in recent weeks, avoiding public outings, ignoring texts from production staff, and allegedly confiding to one of her older daughters that she doesn't know who to trust anymore. Not Janelle, not Christine, not even Meri. Which makes sense, considering all 3 women are now, by various reports, communicating regularly about their financial histories with the family and what their next steps might be. One source close to Meri claims she's kept records for years, including email chains and paper statements, and recently told a friend, "If I'm dragged into this again, I'm bringing the truth with me." So where does that leave us? With a family that's no longer just fractured, but possibly headed into full-blown legal warfare. Janelle remains calm, but resolute. Christine is done playing nice. Meri is sharpening her receipts. The kids are angry. And Robyn? She's running out of places to hide. As for Kody, his grip is slipping on the money, the narrative, and the loyalty he once demanded without question. Which brings us to you, dear viewer. What do you think? Should Janelle have to pay a cent toward Robyn's tax mess? And if these financial leaks are real, who should be held accountable? Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this storm isn't slowing down anytime soon. The next video on your screen is waiting. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.